Hello and welcome back to my channel. You're watching Vida's Creations, where I teach you how to crochet. All right, where did we leave off the last time? Do you remember? Let's check around the classroom. What have you learned? Did you learn? Did you get your yarn and your needle? Okay, let's get into it. So we first learned how to do the chain stitch. Then we learned how to do the single crochet. So when you put your pieces down, sometimes the string can pull and it will loosen your work. All you have to do is go back in, and then you can just redo what you've done. So since we have a few of them pulled out, let's go back and recap what we learned about the single crochet. Right, so with the single crochet, what we're doing is just putting our needle into the top stitch and pulling through a thread through the two loops that it's created, and then that's how you get your single crochet. So through the top stitch, pull up, and then pull the thread through the two loops. Now we've come to the end. All we're doing is turning our piece to start a new row. Now this is where it gets interesting, because now we're going to learn how to do the double crochet. Now with the double crochet, when we are going to form that, instead of just, if we were to do the single crochet, we would just go back into the one that is directly, what would he say, behind us, right? And pull the thread through. Now what we're going to have to do is do two chain stitch. Do you remember how to do a chain stitch? Let's do it. So we're going to pull through the thread into the loop. That's all we're doing. Pull through the thread into the loop, and then we have two chain stitch. Now to create a double crochet, what we're going to do is wrap around your needle under the thread just to get an added layer of thread there. Then we're going to now go into the top chain stitch, and then we're going to pull up a thread, and it will create 3 loops. Then we're going to pull through the thread into 2 of those loops, and then the thread through the other 2 loops. I'm going to come a little bit closer so that you can see. So we're going to put our needle under the thread to create an added layer of thread there. Then we're going to put the needle into the top of this chain stitch behind us. Then we're going to pull the thread through that loop, and it creates 3 loops. Then we're going to pull the thread through 2 of those loops, then pull it through the other 2 loops, and that will create your double crochet. We're doing it again through the top into that hole, creating 3 loops. Pull the thread through those 2 loops, then we pull the thread through those 2 loops, right? And then that will create your double crochet. I'll do a few while you watch, and then we can probably talk. Let me slow it down a little bit. Under, into, up and through 2 and through 2. Under, into, up through 2, up through 2. And now we're forming that. We're going to do it all the way to the end of our piece, and then we will see the complete pattern that it makes. Now remember, at the beginning of the series, while I was talking a little bit about, how I got into crochet and how I do crochet, I was letting you know that the double crochet is actually my favorite stitch. And if you realize, I have to be reminding myself to go slow, because I tend to go really fast when I'm doing the double crochet, just because to me it's much more fun and easier. I think I love just the pattern it gives. If you look closely, you'll see it's beautiful, and you'll see it on my model behind. That's how we got those designs. So again, we're going into that one, pulling through the thread to 2 of the loops, and then pulling it through 2 of the other loops, and we just keep going and going. And then once we get to the end, what do we do, class? We just turn the piece around to start a new row. So let's get all the way through to the end. Now when you get here, do not stop here. You want to go to the very last one, so that it will look much more neater and well put together, for lack of a better term. You see how seamless that is? Perfect, beautiful. So we're just going to do another row. What I want you to do, and this may be a short lesson today, but we're just going to be continually doing this until we get it. Now, if we wanted to mix it up a little bit, we could do single crochet in this row. Just to recap, we're just going back, pulling up, and just pulling through those 2 loops. Back, pulling up through the 2 loops. Back, pulling up through the 2 loops, right? And then that will give an interesting pattern. We're just going to do single crochet through this next row, right until we're complete. Now, if you've been following along with your needle and your thread and you're learning for the first time, tell me your thoughts. Like, what is the hardest thing for you? Do you find it easy? How do you feel about crocheting? And what piece are you most excited to make? Actually, after today's lesson, next week we're actually going to turn this into a scarf. Now, I would have originally, maybe we should just create a new piece, get a new color and make it fancy. But if we wanted to continue with this one, all we'd have to do is just keep doing rows until it gets bigger. But for practicality and efficiency, I would actually start off with chain stitches and do about maybe 100 chains, right? And then we can do our double crochet until the very last end and just keep turning it around. That it will end much quicker, and it will give a different pattern as well. So I will decide, or you can drop in the comment below and tell me what you prefer. Do you want to continue with this piece, or do you want to get some fun colors and actually do it the way that I would do it? So now we're turning the fabric or the piece, and we're going to do some double crochet, and I'm just doing it one more time so you can see. All right, so we're under into that top stitch, pulling it up and then pulling through 2 and then through the other 2 under into that top stitch, through those 2, through those 2, and there you have it. You have learned how to do double crochet. And while I wrap this up, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I am so excited that we're learning together and that you're enjoying this series. And of course, I can't wait to really do some more creative pieces with you once we get these basics down. And I'm sure as we continue into like our work, there might be a couple more things that I want to show you, like how to probably do, what's that thing called again? A trivet. Maybe we can learn how to do that. Maybe we can even get a crochet book together and I can teach you how to read it. Let me know what you'd like to learn and I'll be happy to show you. All right, thanks as always for watching, and until next time, stay blessed.